Well, brace yourself because this video that I have for you from the Lincoln Project, y'all love the Lincoln Project, so I'll keep throwing these in here, is so funny and so brutal. And again, it's mocking Donald Trump. Now, the context before I play it is that Trump was at Mar-a-Lago and there was just this weird viral video that came out of a moment where he's just standing there awkwardly as this woman sings Phantom of the Opera to him. So, inspired by that, they took it and turned it into a Lincoln Project rendition of Phantom of the Opera. And here it is.
And who didn't turn from you, they glance behind. The President of the United States is in and senility now hold their sway. So sad to see his power shrivel up and fade away. From massive legal fees, he's deep in debt. His power over you grows stronger yet. Click here to give him cash. His coffer fills. Look past the fraud, ignore his mental ills. Just pay his bills. Phantom of the Mega, he's there, the Phantom of the Mega.
So there it is, another zinger from the Lincoln Project. Now, lots to discuss. It's not just that in this segment. I also want to get into some legal news. So, of course, you know who's about to pop on screen. Aaron Parnas, our legal expert. Aaron, separate from that video that's really tickling me, what is the most recent news about Trump? Then everyone stick around because we're going to get to just one of the most bizarre Trump True Social moments in quite some time.
Yeah, Luke. Well, Trump has been gagged again. Another gag order was imposed in New York City, this time by Judge Merchan in the criminal trial in the Stormy Daniels hush money payment trial. So earlier today, Donald Trump went after Judge Merchan's daughter on Truth Social, claiming that she's kind of this Democratic activist, that she is somehow responsible for Judge Merchan being kind of selected for the case. And just literally hours after Judge Merchan issued a gag order saying that Donald Trump cannot make any public comments about court staff family, about the families of prosecutors, jurors. I mean, it was a very broad gag order. The only person that Judge Merchan allowed Trump to continue commenting about was Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan District Attorney himself. So once again, Trump is gagged.
And remind us of what the other gag orders were. How many are we talking about up until this point in the 4 criminal cases and the fraud case?
Yeah, we're now up to 3 out of 5. So we had one in Washington, D.C. in the special counsel's case. Remember, Judge Chutkan issued a gag order. Trump then appealed that gag order to the D.C. Circuit, and the D.C. Circuit upheld the gag order. And I believe that went up to the Supreme Court. I have to confirm, but that gag order is in effect in D.C. And then we have another gag order imposed in Judge Engoron's civil fraud trial, because remember, Trump was going after Judge Engoron's clerk during the trial. So that was imposed, and that is still in effect. So right now, Trump is really under 3 separate orders.
Okay, and one more follow-up question, then I'm going to show you all what Trump posted around the time of this news coming out, but I don't know if it was related, the incoherent nature of it. What is the recourse if Trump were to violate, as seems rather likely, this gag order?
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 words: contempt of court. And if Judge Merchant finds that Trump violated the gag order, it's going to be pretty bad for Trump. He will be held in contempt. And that could be anything from paying a fine. Remember, we saw when Trump violated Judge Engoron's gag order, Trump paid multiple fines, all the way up to jail time. And unlike Judge Engoron, this is a criminal case. This is a criminal trial we're talking about. And Judge Merchant has been notoriously harder on Trump and his team. So I wouldn't be surprised if Trump violates this gag order and is forced to spend the night in jail, for example, or has some kind of bond restrictions tightened just because of the contempt of court that would arise. So Trump should be very careful here.
Okay, with that being said, this isn't really legal, but I just want to cram it into this segment because, well, you'll see. Here's something Trump just posted on Truth Social. I'm not running to terminate the ACA as crooked Joe Budden disinformates and misinformates all of the time. And then he goes on, mostly in all caps, to scream about who knows what. But from your legal perspective, Aaron, does that make any sense?
No, not at all. And remember, the Biden campaign recently has been calling out Trump for his incoherent nature. And Trump, I mean, in recent months on the campaign trail, has been very incoherent at times, has been mixing up names, calling Nikki Haley mixing up Nikki Haley and Nancy Pelosi up. I mean, there's just so many things going wrong for Trump. He's under a lot of stress. He's under a lot of pressure. He has 4 criminal indictments, 87 pending criminal charges. He has a monetary judgment of over $450 million. He has another one of about $90 million. Shoot, if that was me, I'd also be rambling like Trump and be as incoherent because he's stressed and it shows.
And then it's important to note, it's so insane what he's trying to do here. He says, I'm not running to terminate the ACA, as crooked Joe Budden says. But as Mice Touch pointed out on X, Trump posted it on Truth Social as well. So the same account is posting the act and the denial of the act. Here, he says, terminate it. The cost of Obamacare is out of control, plus it's not good health care. I'm seriously looking at alternatives. We had a couple of Republican senators who campaigned for 6 years against it and then raised their hands not to terminate it. It was a low point for the Republican Party, but we should never give up. We should never give up. And then now he's saying he's not running on that. And it reminded me of him calling for the termination of the Constitution, then a few days later denying he ever said such a thing. So obviously the post I read quite often, key part, is him saying a massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Then he goes on to post the fake news actually trying to convince the American people that I said I wanted to terminate the Constitution. Him saying it is still up on his account, and him denying it is still up on his account. You really can't get more blatant in your lies than that, Aaron.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, remember, Donald Trump was literally the architect of the bill that went onto the Senate floor, passed the House, went to the Senate, that would have gutted the Affordable Care Act. And it took John McCain's courage to vote no against and keep the Affordable Care Act. That was under Trump's presidency just a few years ago. So despite all of his public statements now, he's a notorious liar. And I'm hopeful that the public will see through it.
Aaron, where can people find you?
On all my social platforms, just at Aaron Parnas.